Jordan. Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels at TNA Unbreakable 2005. Now, when it comes to this match, I think it's safe to say this is one of the greatest non-WWE matches of all time. Simple as that. I will say though, over the past decade or so, there definitely have been some contenders for this spot. But still, for me personally, not only one of the greatest matches of all time that hasn't taken place in the WWE, but I just think one of the greatest of all time, period. And that's saying something because I was a WWE diehard growing up, man. And this match, throughout all of those years, still remained in my top 3 conversation, period. In terms of triple threats, for sure, this is number 1, but of all time, definitely top 3. And this was around the time that I was kind of new to the concept of wrestling outside of WWE. And this match actually took place during TNA's almost infancy stage, I'd say. Within the first few years of them rebranding to the TNA name, for sure. And boy, did they put on a classic, man. Now, I don't remember when exactly I saw this match. I think it would have been around the 2007 era because that was when I really started watching TNA more frequently. The first TNA match that I can remember seeing was Jeff Hardy versus Raven in like a tables match or something like that. But the era that I really got into TNA as a product was around like 2007. I think it was around the time Kurt Angle joined the company. But after watching some of that like 2007 era product, I wanted to see some of the OG stuff they had in the catalog, and this was the match that I saw. And after this, I became an immediate fan of all 3 of these guys. In particular though, AJ Styles. This match alone put AJ Styles in my top 5. And I hadn't even seen all his work up to this point yet, but just this one match alone already put him up there. That's how good a match this was. Each member of this match had their own chance to shine as well. And it was just crazy from start to finish. I'd never seen anything like this. And again, as I said, this was like around like a couple or a few years later from when the match took place itself. So looking back at this, I can only imagine how crazy seeing a match of this caliber was around that 2005 period. Because even around 2007, apart from like Ring of Honor and stuff like that, you didn't really see matches like this. But in 2005, they went crazy. From start to finish, crazy action, crazy high spots, and it just felt like it was constantly going at that fast pace throughout the entire match. This was for the X Division title as well, so the X Division, I'ma say, I don't know if this is a hot take, I don't really think it is. I think the X Division, during its prime, greatest cruiserweight division, period. Better than WWE's, better than New Japan's, better than WCW's. This is just my opinion. Do y'all remember the Ultimate X? You can't tell me the X Division wasn't fire. But anyway, when it comes to this match, the main spot that sticks out to me, and there were plenty of spots, don't get me wrong. Samoa Joe was going crazy, that's one thing I do remember, but the main spot was that spiral tap AJ Styles hit from the top rope to break up a pin. Craziness, man, crazy. When I first saw that, I was like, what is going on? I've never seen someone break up a pinfall that way. And that was during the early stages of the match as well, so I knew I was in for a ride, and this match did not disappoint, man. They put their bodies on the line. I don't know if this was the main event of this pay-per-view in particular, but if not, it should have. When it comes to TNA, if you're familiar with the product, this has to be one of the first matches you think of. Old time classic. Simple as that.